They called her the quiet one. So, invisible, easy to overlook, easy to break. But the night a cruel prank went too far, everything changed, and the golden boy of Jefferson High would never walk out alive. This was meant to be a prank, but it ended in cold-blooded murder. Madison Cole was the kind of girl people forgot was even in the room. Second-hand clothes, soft steps, never raising her voice. And Brett Harlow? He noticed. Football captain, star athlete, the king of the school, loved by teachers, worshipped by classmates, and he had one rule. If you're weak, you're his to destroy. He spread rumors. He locked her homework away. He whispered cruel nicknames in the halls. Madison stayed silent, but what no one knew was that she was recording everything. One Friday night, Brett went further. He and his friends lured Madison to an abandoned warehouse. She thought it was a party, but when she stepped inside, the lights cut out. Water balloons rained down. Her phone was smashed. Her backpack ripped away. And high above her, Brett laughed, camera in hand. This wasn't just a prank. This was meant to ruin her forever. But Brett wasn't the only one in that warehouse. Someone else was watching from the shadows. Ethan Cole, Madison's older brother, a veteran who had seen more than his share of battles. And tonight, he'd had enough. He stepped out. The room went silent. Brett smirked. Relax. It's just a prank. But Ethan's voice was sharp. A prank ends when everyone's laughing. She's not laughing. And then, Madison reached into her soaked backpack, pulled out a recorder, and pressed play. Every insult, every threat, every word Brett had said echoed in the warehouse. She hadn't just endured the torment. She'd been building a case. The laughter vanished, and Brett's smirk began to crack. But arrogance is dangerous. He lunged for the recorder. Ethan blocked him. The two collided, fists flying, rage against discipline. And then, Brett slipped. His head slammed against concrete, blood spreading. The golden boy of Jefferson High wasn't moving. The prank was over. Madison froze. Ethan stood over the body, chest heaving, hands shaking. Brett's friends scattered, phones in hand. But Madison did the one thing nobody expected. She picked up Brett's still recording camera and stared straight into the lens. "This is what happens," she whispered, "when you think nobody can touch you." For the first time in her life, she wasn't invisible. The police called it an accident, a tragic fall. Ethan said nothing, but Madison had the footage, the truth of who Brett really was. To the world, Brett Harlow died a hero. To Madison, it felt like justice. But justice has a way of twisting. 2 weeks later, a letter appeared in her locker. 5 words, "I know what you did," and taped to the note, a still frame from Brett's camera, her face, staring into the lens. Arrogance can make you think you're untouchable. Cruelty can blind you to the quiet ones. Brett Harlow thought he was above consequence, but consequence came anyway. And now, Madison Cole carried a secret someone was ready to expose. So the question is, who left that note? A friend hungry for revenge? A teacher who saw too much? Or someone Madison never suspected? One thing is certain, this story isn't over. The note changed everything. 5 words, taped to a photo of Madison's face. "I know what you did." Someone had the evidence, and someone wanted her to suffer. At first, she thought it was a cruel joke, left by one of Brett's grieving friends. But then came the second note, slipped into her locker between classes. This one with a warning. "Stay quiet, or you'll be next." Fear followed her everywhere. The halls, the cafeteria, even at home. Because if someone knew the truth, then Ethan wasn't the only one carrying guilt. She was a target too. Late one night, Madison found her bedroom window cracked open. She was sure she had locked it, and on her desk, a flash drive. Shaking, she plugged it in. What she saw froze her blood. The warehouse footage. All of it. Not just Brett's death, but Ethan's face. Her face. Everything. Someone had the full recording. Someone had been there that night. And now, they were toying with her. Madison wanted to go to the police, but Ethan stopped her. "If this gets out," he warned, "they'll call it murder. We'll both go down." He begged her to stay silent. But silence was exactly what their blackmailer wanted. The next morning, another note appeared. This time in her locker, pinned with a knife. "Meet me tonight, or everyone sees the truth." She didn't tell Ethan. She couldn't. She had to face this alone. As the sun went down, Madison walked to the abandoned train yard, her heart pounding with every step. In the shadows, a figure waited, someone she recognized instantly. And in that moment, Madison realized the betrayal cut closer than she ever imagined, because the person standing in front of her wasn't a stranger. It was someone she trusted, someone who should have been on her side. But why were they there that night? How did they get the footage? And most chilling of all, what did they plan to do with it? The truth was about to explode, and Madison's fight for survival was only just beginning. When Madison arrived at the train yard, the last face she expected to see waiting in the shadows was her best friend, Emily Carter, the only person who had ever stood by her side, the one person she thought she could trust. But Emily wasn't smiling. She wasn't comforting. She was holding the flash drive, and she was furious. "You think you were the only one Brett ruined?" Emily hissed. "He destroyed me too. But you got justice. And now you're hiding it." Madison's voice cracked. "It was an accident, Emily. You don't understand." But Emily's reply chilled her to the bone. "Oh, I understand. I understand perfectly. And if the world doesn't hear what really happened, then you're no better than him." Emily wasn't asking for justice. She was demanding it. And she had the evidence to destroy everything. Ethan's freedom, Madison's safety, their entire lives. But just when Madison thought Emily was the enemy, the real danger revealed itself. A flashlight beam swept across the yard. Voices shouted in the distance. Emily's eyes widened. "They followed me?" Out of the darkness, two men approached. Not cops, not classmates, strangers. And one of them held a badge. He wasn't from Jefferson. He wasn't even local police. He was FBI. And he wanted Madison. Why was the FBI interested in a high school prank gone wrong? What did they know that Madison didn't? And how long had they been watching her? The truth was far bigger than Madison ever imagined. And the game she thought she was playing was only just beginning. Kindly consider subscribing to the channel for more true crime stories just like this one.